Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? First off, who woke you up this morning? Who woke you up this morning? Was it coffee? Was it the smell of aroma of coffee? Was it your kids? Was it the dogs? Was it your alarm clock? Or was it simply just God? God. That's who woke me up this morning. God. And I'm so grateful and so fruitful that I am able to get up today and go about my day the right way, you know, the right way. Which now these days I'm able to first thing, make some coffee, of course. After I make me a nice pot of coffee for whoever wakes up and wants some coffee, I go into the good book. I go into the good book, the King James Version, right? And I get into the scriptures. I get into the scriptures. That's how I wake up in the morning. That's what works for me, right? Everyone has to find what works for them. But that works for me to wake up, get into the book. But no matter what time of day it is, right? When, where, how. Listen, the devil has ways. He has ways to get into you, right? And try to disturb your peace. Okay? And he will use whoever he can. Because yes, he have those capabilities. He has those capabilities to use whoever he can. All right? And for a person as myself who's always working on something, right? Who's always working on something because in the blink of an eye, I could fall back to the person I was. That's how delicate this thing is, right? It's delicate and I'm fragile, right? Because if someone just keeps poking and poking and poking, right, they could get to me. And you know what? An outsider can't get to me because I don't care about the outside. I don't really have no relations. It doesn't bother me. I can walk it off, right? But when it's your significant other, right, that you go to church with, that you do stuff with, right, and she, she just don't get the picture. She don't get the point. Like she has a lot to work on, man. And I'm quick to pull your card. I will pull your card, and this is what it is, right? But she's so childish, and what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? There's people that do all type of ways, all type of stuff. You know, she wants to get married. She wants to get married. You know, I'm not at that point. I'm not at that level with her. To tell you the truth, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not comfortable on that level. I'm not comfortable on that level because this is not a person that I'm in love with. I'm not in love. I'm not in love. If when a person's in love, right? When a person's in love, they see through all that. They see through it all, but I don't. I just see misery. I see misery. I don't, I pray every day. I pray every day. I talk to my God. I go, we do church, but it's not there, you know. So I'm starting to figure out maybe I'm trying to get baptized. I'm trying to get to that level, right? And I'm trying to stay in that positive Christian vibe and always keep inside my head, like, what will Jesus do? How will Jesus do? What does the Bible say? But when you have someone, oh man, like, you have to see it to believe it for you to understand. Like, she says, oh, you don't know what I do when you're not around. You're right, I don't. But I know the busyness that you said you in and the stuff that you be doing, you act like you barely have time for anything, right? So I know you're not taking 20 minutes out of your time throughout the day to go into the word, into the scriptures. I don't care what you say. You're not. Because between that phone, whatever else you're doing in the house, whatever other schedule you have, appointments, this, that, click, you're not. Because you're not doing it like I do it. All right? You have to take that time out. It has to either be throughout early in the morning or in the evening before you take it down. That'd be the most simplest way, when nothing's in your way, to get, to build that relationship with God. So now I'm at the verge. I'm thinking, maybe you don't want me. Maybe it's not meant for me to be there. Maybe it's not. I've been there for quite some time now, since I've been out of prison. I've been out there 7 years. 7 years. 2 years in the system with her and 7 out. So that's 9 years. 9 years. I don't think, listen, I'm at the point now, man, like, the truth is sinking in, like, on me. It's sinking in. Maybe this was all wrong from the beginning. But because of my greed and my selfish acts, right, and my addiction, I have used this on another level, right, to benefit myself while I was incarcerated, right? And I told myself, well, let me give it a shot and see where I end up out here in society, right? And I have done some things, and I tried to work it. I've done it being under the influence, right? Let me tell you something. The most I ever made love to my woman was mostly under the influence. I was under the influence more than being sober. Because as I've been sober, I had things that bother me mentally, and then the mental have carried on. When I finally grabbed the grip on the mental, right, of being angry, just at her, just for the person that she is, right? It's like a love and hate relationship. But being in love, it's hard to decide. It's hard to decide, you know. So what do you do? What do you do? You know, I talk this stuff, you know, I talk this stuff on the podcast because the podcast, the podcast is as real therapy is that it's like having therapy, a podcast. It's like having a one-on-one counseling therapy, right? With yourself. With yourself. With yourself. Therapy with yourself. Without going to counseling, because no one knows you like you know yourself, right? So basically, by me talking and recording myself, the one who hears me first is myself, because my ears is closer to my lips than anybody else's. You understand? So now, if I'm live or recording myself, right, I can always play it back. I can always play it back and hear myself, right? Because I have an episode that's recorded. I have episodes that's recorded. But at the same note, the same token, you know how many other people in this world is going through the same thing, but they don't know who to talk to. They don't even know the very first thing to go about a situation like this, right? And then some do the most craziest things, right? And find themselves in a very, very, very big trouble, in a big jam, right? Because I see it. I see it on TV. I see it in movies. You see it on the news, right? And you know why? Because people hold stuff in. They hold it in. They hold it in instead of letting it out, talking to someone, right? Airing it out. You know, there's people that got good friends that they can run to, right? Good friends, good people, you know. I have some good people around too, but I gotta really catch them on that level and on that note, because a lot of people look at me and think of a role model, right? Someone that's well-rounded and have it together, but they don't really get to see the inside of what's really going on. You know, it's like always stepping out the house, but for the cameras and for everybody, right? You put the smiling face, right, and the good talk, the good morning, the good evening, the good night, and and jump off conversation, but you really want to go off and yell and scream and just take it into your old ways, right? Because in your old ways, in your old days, you didn't have to sit around and put up with none of this shit. You would get up and go, right? Because you had places to go, places to sleep, you had your family around, people was around, right? But times has changed. Times have changed. And we cannot go back into those days because times has changed. So the only thing you could do is do right, because everything is like an obstacle. It's a process. For whatever process it is, it's a process. You gotta go through it. You know, you just gotta go through it. That's all. It's all a process. So now I sit back and I wonder, is it a process that the Almighty Yahweh, Yahshua, Jesus, God, Jehovah, is this part of his process? Of course it's part of his process. It is. It is. Because for whatever reason, you will learn something out of it. Because every day there's lessons to learn and there's blessings to gain, right? To gain. Because not even always gain, because you always could be somebody else's blessings. And a lot of times that be the case, you being someone else's blessing. All right. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being there with me. Being my ears, my eyes this morning, my everything. God bless everyone. Until the next, this is Real Talk with LWO, Latinos with Opinions. Signing off.